Here's recording.
Okay, so let's see, Tiffany, you're in charge of the chat. So what do we hear from Karen Jenkins?
So Karen says, so the question is, what has been 2 successes that you've had this year? And Karen Jenkins says, I have a Santa for my unique Santa experience, yay. And Thanksgiving weekend at the Gateway to Dreams Business Lodge. And my other is retiring at 90, love it. I am now the photographer for the Legends magazine and one of several for St. Louis Real Producers. Awesome. High five to Karen. Yay.
Yay, hey, Karen.
Yay, Karen.
So
What
Karen,
like a real person in her background. Like it's like written right there.
Santa's name on her.
Yeah, he's the one retiring.
He's
Gotcha.
adorable. He looks like the real Santa.
He
He was
does.
at Plaza Frontenac for 19 years.
Oh, how
Wow. And at the age of 90, that's awesome. Good for him.
That is
Brought a
beautiful.
lot of love into the world.
Yeah, well, we could have matched him with Michelle's mom, who's 90, and she could have been Mrs. Claus.
I don't know
She
if his
would've
wife
loved
would
that.
like that.
I love that.
Mrs.
Hey,
Claus might
Karen.
not over that.
Karen, side note, will you put your information in the chat?
Oh, sure.
Okay, actually, if everybody would do that, that would be great. I actually would like to set some time around and talk to you about your Santa experience, Karen.
All
if we
right,
can
thank
get
you.
to that.
Okay.
So 2 successes that you had this year. Who else is ready to share? You can raise your hand or put it in the chat. And we're small enough, you could just raise your hand. Okay, Michelle.
So Michelle Burkhardt, and I'm a dating and relationship coach, and I actually launched a dating club for people 50 and over, and
Wow.
that was like a super big challenge, and I didn't have a heart attack before I got it done, and it's launched, and I got the kinks out, and I think it's actually running smoothly, and I'm getting ready to scale. So that was really exciting.
Wow.
And I'm also starting my second coaching group tonight for the ladies. So
Nice.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
That is great.
send out your information because I know there's a lot of us women. I didn't think there were any men, but glad to know you have both.
Well, not as many men because they're shy, but it's just a great support system and learning opportunity. So I will put it in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. Who else? Some successes for this year. We're looking for 2. You can start with 1. We'll be okay with that.
Well, I have one.
Okay, Missy.
I actually launched a radio show this year. I think by complete accident, but they say there are no accidents. So here I am 4 months later, and it's been a ton of fun. And I am waiting, which I am hoping will come through, some additional funding from the SBA to help keep Sage Skincare afloat.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
what is the topic of your radio show?
So the show name is Sage Advice with Melissa, and we are really approaching the whole mind, body, and spirit. Having been in skincare for the last 9 years, and just all that I've learned, and being very interested in health and wellness in general. So much of what's going on outside starts with what is going on inside, and we are really giving great information and options for people who are listening on how to take a much more holistic approach to their well-being on all aspects of what that looks like.
That's perfect.
So,
Yeah, I would love to pick your brain further as well.
well, then pick my brain anytime.
Okay, well, make sure your information's in there so we can see.
It is.
Okay. Who else? 2 successes for this year.
Cassandra just put one in here in the chat. She said, speaking on more online and live stages, and launched her online solo this year. Congratulations, Cassandra. That's awesome.
Awesome. If there's any way we could see your beautiful self, Cassandra, I would love it. We would love it. Karen?
I just have one, and it's the launching of Be the Change. That has been like not just this year, but it feels like one of the biggest things I've ever done that hopefully will help communities. So that is my one big.
That is awesome. Awesome. That's terrific. And congratulations, Karen. To say that we are proud of you, I'm going to speak for the collective group, it would be an understatement.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And to call you my friend would be an understatement as well.
You hear my menagerie? I'm gonna mute.
That's all right.
3 dogs.
Good morning, Angela. Welcome. Hi, Catherine. Great for you guys to join us. We are sharing two successes that you've had this year. We will even take one if nothing comes to your mind so quickly. Tracy?
Okay, so launching Networking for You in January was huge for me. Didn't know it was going to happen, but it did. And also working with another client that thinks that I'm doing a super job. So he's asked me to, he's pretty much asked me to network a lot more for him and kind of be the trainer for his employees on teaching them how to network. So that was huge.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Congratulations. Again, we are so proud of you. I mean, we have watched you from the outside looking in. You have just evolved into finding your true purpose and passion, in my humble opinion. And it's just been pure joy watching that happen, Tracy. I mean, truly, so cool. Hi, Shava, welcome.
Good morning, Sheva.
Hi, everyone.
Shava.
See you.
Great to see you. We're talking about a success that we had this year. Is there something that you would like to share?
Why, yes. We're already at the end of the year successing, huh? Well, this year has been nothing short of a miracle, especially because I decided to live miraculously, like beyond any limitation at all. And so I am looking here at the Hollywood Squares, and I see every single one of you have helped me make that belief possible. Like so much in such a profound way. Like if I had time, I would just go and love on each of you because you have each touched my heart so profoundly this year. And I'm so grateful for you. And so where I am today is miraculous. And like the success are just like the little rocks, the little stones that I moved along the way. But the bigger one is my mindset that I am not only able-bodied, but I am superhuman able-bodied. And I think it's because my mindset is based now on just define limits. And you know, of course, I wish Lady E were here to say that, you know, too, also because her little Rock Your Moxie inspired me as well. So yeah, God, I wish I had to on all of you, but I'll let you go. And I know I see Jenny's hand is up.
Okay, Jenny.
I didn't know. I don't. I always put my hand up because I don't always jump right in. Because by the time I think about exactly what I want to say, somebody else is always like right in there. So my successes. Well, so a lot with my performance art, doing voiceover work and creating entertainment for conference. And so that was been lots of fun. And then my second success is helping people heal, like not just heal emotionally, but like physically from through spiritual means alone. And so I didn't think I would be so excited about that, but I love finding out that people are like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't move for 9 months. And then after praying with you, I went to the grocery store. And I thought, how fabulous is that? I mean, I was just so
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So I would like to share my success, and then we're going to introduce Tiffany. I feel like that I am so open to constant breakthroughs. I mean, it just seems like every time I wake up in the morning, there's something new for me to learn, and for which I just stand in the deepest degree of gratitude. I think the two things that most inspire me today is that I truly am owning my superpower, if you will. And what that is having a very deep understanding of the soul and encouraging others to step into their soul's purpose. So that's been really cool. And I launched my Extreme Breakthrough Program based on an NLP technique that I just have had the greatest success with. And so that's really thrilling for me as well. So good morning, ladies. My name is Darlene Hertz. However, what's important about today for you to know, it is hashtag Be a Tiffany Day. Yay! So we were talking earlier about, about how people are labeled Be a Karen or whatever. And so we started laughing. And so we appointed today Be a Tiffany Day because she's all about the technology. So she's going to share some words of wisdom with us. So take it away, Tiffany.
All right. I've never been a hashtag before. This is fun. Good morning, everybody. So just like, I think we're probably all very used to Zoom right now, but if you do have any problems, feel free to message me privately and I'll help you out. Make sure you're in the chat. We do a lot in the chat during this session. Make sure you're muting yourself if you're not talking, just to keep the focus and the audio focus on you or on the person who is speaking. And if you have questions as we go along, feel free to raise your hand by using the reaction button down at the bottom. I think, and then when we do the breakout rooms, I'll come back on and explain those as well. Back to you, Darlene.
Thank you, hashtag Be a Tiffany. So appreciate you, truly. So really, it's really a great day to be here at CPW. We know that there's other opportunities for you out there and that you chose to spend this time with us. We are forever grateful because when your energy is here, that makes us a better organization. So thank you for joining us. We always have an opening or centering thought or prayer or gathering or just holding space, however it is that you want to do that. So this is what I would like for you to, I always think about what inspired me in the morning. And this morning when I was getting dressed, I heard a song that I hadn't heard in a long time, but it talked about how you must go through the valley in order to stand on the mountain. And it's by one of my favorite Christian bands. And so I would really like for us to start with the end about standing on a mountain, and then in your silence, give gratitude for the valley that led you to that mountain, because that's truly only where we grow is in the valley. And we need to give gratitude for that valley. So if we can just take a moment and go inside. And breathe in that fresh air standing on top of the mountain. And as you exhale, allow that valley to leave you. And let's take 3 deep breaths and big exhales in that. And when you're ready, come back to the room. Thank you. How was that? Nice. Good. So next, what we're going to do is we are going to share our vision and mission for Gateway to Dreams, and we're going to invite Karen to share that with us. There you go, Karen. Thank you for unmuting.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
It wasn't working the other day, so I have another computer next to me ready. Our goal has been to change the world by starting here in St. Louis, and by inspiring dreams into action. We feel like that's the way to do it. We love to help inspire action and give voice and clarity to the dreams. Sometimes just having someone else to talk about your dream with solidifies it. And what we have seen through the years is a ripple effect. And our goal is to literally impact the economic well-being of our community and our social value here in our community. I don't know if there's another page, Missy. Maybe not, but okay. These are the values we've worked on through the years, and we actually have another one that we've added that kind of refers to when you were talking about superpowers, Darlene, but we want a community that loves more and judges less, that we try to stay with positive possibilities. We need to look at what the problems are, but instead of accepting them, how can we create positive possibilities out of things that are not going maybe the way we want for our community and for our lives? Heart smart connections and collaboration, pay it forward networking, energetic, and there was another word I heard recently, energetic empathy, but I think it was maybe radical empathy. How do we really hear what's going on in people's lives, and not, again, going back to not judging them, but having empathy for where they are and what they're trying to do in their lives. Empowering language. We're real big on trying to use words, not trying to use words because trying is whatever, but how do we language that is empowering? Somebody just talked about empowering. Was it you, Tiffany? Empowering others, empowering our community. And then again, coming back to what are our strengths? In fact, one of the ideas I've been mulling around for the past few months is how do we create a community of volunteers that the only thing they bring to the table is that strength that they are born with, the strength that fills them up and brings them joy. And that's all that they give to our community, so that it's always filling them up and not draining them. Next, Missy, for those that remember Karen Garcia, and for those that don't, Karen Garcia was an ultimate champion of dreams. She was just an amazing human being and part of the launch of Gateway. She passed away in 2019, and to honor her and her pay it forward personality, we have tribute cards that when you do a random act of kindness, you can give. But because we don't meet in person anymore, I have a box at my house and a box at the lodge, and they're out on the table in front of the lodge, the business lodge as well. And where would we have been in, I think it was March of 2020 without Tiffany? Almost every person on our team at Gateway was unfamiliar with Zoom. They were not using it on a regular basis. I had such an aversion to Zoom. I was afraid that Gateway would go away, because if we're not meeting face to face, how are we going to do it? And hashtag Tiffany to the rescue. And she has been our guiding Zoomer for going on almost 2 years, at least a year and a half now. Thank you, Tiffany. And Lone Orange, she has amazing programs to help solopreneurs. So we've got to make, in fact, we're talking about how can we come together so Tiffany's gifts can be sprinkled even more amongst the Gateway to Dreams community. Anyone that would like to be a sponsor, it's $100. It is recorded, and the whole program is recorded every month. And I think we're going to go next to our monthly sponsor. Darlene, do you want to, Darlene?
Yes, sure. Our monthly sponsor this week is Dawn Berry. She is the branch sales manager at American Insurance. She's a licensed insurance professional with 12 plus years experience in the property and casualty insurance industry and 19 years as a life insurance expert. In addition to be licensed insurance professional, Dawn has earned her Bachelor of Science degree in economics for the University of Missouri in St. Louis, which I bless her tremendously. That was my praying class when I was in college, was economics. She's a daughter of two, a sister to one, a friend to many, and proud mother of four amazing individuals. Her oldest daughter is currently has been at the 2021 Olympics as a hammer thrower. Her youngest daughter is at Mizzou pursuing a career in the health and sciences, and her oldest son is an entrepreneur like his mama and has started his own sports training business. And then her youngest son is currently a junior in high school and is a 6'2" basketball player. And that is definitely his superpower. And I am sure he's not even finished growing. When Dawn's not working, you can find her enjoying a walk at Creve Coeur Lake, which is one of her favorite places to take in nature. She enjoys reading a good book and solving puzzles. While loving the challenge of jigsaw puzzles, she prefers Sudoku. Oh, that's a woman after my own heart. Or a good logic puzzle when she just wants to wind down for the evening. Dawn loves attending church and serving in the accounting ministry. Some of Dawn's other hobbies include cooking, writing, and traveling. Dawn believes that life is best enjoyed in the presence of family and great friends while fulfilling a worthwhile purpose of serving others before self. So Dawn, thank you for your sponsorship. If you get an opportunity to hear this, know that we are each again so proud of you and your accomplishments.
I'd like to add one of the things that there's a whole, for those of you that know me and know my God stories, there's a whole God story behind Dawn and I reconnecting, but she is working hard to help us with American Family. For anyone that knows anything about American Family, they have a whole division around dreams. So it's just amazing what American Family is doing for the community, especially in, I think it's Madison, Wisconsin, but we want to have a lot of that here in St. Louis, and Dawn's trying to help us.
That is awesome. Anything that we can do, just let us know, Karen, please. That'd be awesome. So the next thing we want to do is getting to know you. Tiffany, since it's Be a Tiffany Day, is going to add a document into the chat. And I think, Tiffany, what I'm going to do is just kind of let you explain it. Is that fair?
Certainly. Thanks, Charlene. So yeah, so we're going to go into breakout rooms. There'll be 3 to 4 people in your room, and I'm going to give you 6 minutes when you get in the room. So that's 6 minutes total. I'll be following my timer. So when you get in the room, pick a person to kind of go first. With only 3 or 4 of you, that should be pretty easy. Pick a person to go first, and you're going to get 1 minute to just do a quick intro. And the intros are on the screen, so you might want to take a quick snapshot with your phone. Unfortunately, I don't have a good way to get the script into the breakout rooms, so you'll need to make sure you have it with you. So it's on the screen. There is a PDF in the chat that you can download, and I also put the text in the chat. But basically, you just follow the script. Hi, my name is. I own or work for. Our company specializes in. Looking for partnerships and connections with in my professional life right now I need, or in my personal life right now I need, and in the next 60 days I'm looking to purchase. And then share a dream if you'd like to. So I'll give you 6 minutes. So if somebody could time in your room, pull out your phone and set a timer for 1 minute. It's really important to give each other the gift of just 1 minute. I know we could talk all day about ourselves, but that way everybody gets a chance to share what you need to share in that 1 minute. And then if you have extra time, then absolutely you can talk some more. 1 minute before I close down the rooms, you'll see a little blue bar that pops up at the top of your screen that says that it's shutting down. And that'll just kind of be your cue to wrap it up. All right, so if there are no questions, I am going to go ahead and wave my magic wand and open the rooms. And then once everybody gets in there, I will start the timer. Have fun. Catherine, do you see it? Missy, are you going to go into a room? Okay. Catherine, do you see the join button? There you go. Okay, good.
Wonderful. Well, I hope that you had an opportunity to really dive just a bit deeper into some connections, and also remember to make note of someone that you would like to visit with afterwards, really get to know their business and how it is that you can help them or they can help you. Either way, we are go-giver mentality, right? So let's make sure that, I guess I'm going to really charge you with picking one person today at least to make additional contacts with afterwards. Okay, is that fair?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So we are going to introduce our first speaker today. It's going to be Tracy Mueller, I think is how she says it. And this is the way that our speakers work. They get.
Hey, Darlene.
Yes.
We're going to have Karen tell us about Dream Tank. We don't have a Dream Tank person today, but just so she can kind of let everybody know how it works.
I think that's a beautiful idea.
We can backtrack just a bit.
Yep.
I have to apologize first. For those that have followed on Facebook, I have 2 new adopted children, 2 Chihuahuas, and added to my 3rd one. And I don't exactly know what to do with them when I'm on calls yet. I move them around and then they end up here. So I'm in the Zoom room away from everything, but they're with me. So bear with me. But we use the Dream Tank, alternating it between a business and a nonprofit every other month so that we can share someone's story. And actually, for me right now, even though we're not really having an official Dream Tank, I would love for all of you to be thinking of companies that could advertise or would get, and when I say get, I mean get the big picture of what Gateway to Dreams is about, that we might approach about being one of our sponsors or advertisers. We want St. Louis to get out of being the highest crime. We have such a beautiful community and it needs so much work too. So, people that want to join together in positive ways to make a difference, like Marty Casey with her on gun, different people like Rosemary Britz with her sickle cell, like how do we reach the right kind of companies to support our nonprofits in our community? So that's all I'm going to say about the Dream Tank. And if you want to be part of the Dream Tank, or a nonprofit that we should promote, let us know. We're working on 2022 now. Can you believe it? 2022. Wow. Okay. Now back to our speaker, Tracy.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. So our speakers have 15 minutes to share with us. And at 5 minutes, speaker, if you can see me or something, I'll hold up 5, give you a 5 sign. And that is your time to close up and then seek questions that anyone might have. And if you do have questions, also, if like when I'm listening, sometimes if I just put it in the chat right away, Tiffany's going to be monitoring that we can always go back to that. Okay, because sometimes when the questions happen, if I don't write it down, boom, just like I just revealed the world's secrets and now it's gone. So let us invite Tracy Mueller as our speaker. She's the founder of Networking for You. She's a business marketing consultant for several small contractors in the St. Louis and St. Charles County area. She does represent their companies in several different master network chapters. The goal is to help connect their employees to represent the company in those chapters. So without further ado, I invite Tracy to take it over and share with us.
Wonderful. So I want to say that I was pretty nervous to be on here this morning, but once I got on here and saw these smiles, I was confident that I can do this. So I want to check real quick. Can you guys see my PowerPoint by chance?
Not yet.
Okay, Tiffany, I need your
all right
help. Let's see.
So there should be the green button down at the bottom of your.
Right, and I did the share screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, it came up a different screen before. So
okay.
There, I think.
There we go.
Got it. Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah, but it's oh. Okay. So I just wanted to show this first screen for you. Now I was actually in the front of the room This is what I'm saying about how you can cultivate authentic business relationships. First, I want to give a shout out to all of you women on CP Connecting and Promoting, that you guys have helped me so much break out of my shell and just know that it is all about our relationships. And especially for Karen Hoffman, she is the ultimate connector. So to have her talk to you guys about relationships is a high honor. So I appreciate it. So I want to tell you a quick story of why I am so, like, when it comes to networking, why it's so important to me is I remember when I was working 2 part-time jobs, I was also working at Legal Shield as a Legal Shield rep. My jobs became a little too toxic, so I left those jobs and continued with Legal Shield. I had my network. I had my friends, my family, my working, my home moms, but I didn't have a business networking group. So a gentleman had asked me to visit a networking group, and I was like, well, I need to get out there sometime. Sure, I'll go. So I showed up 5 minutes before it was going to start. So all eyes were kind of on the people that were coming inside late. I signed in, I shook the welcome committee's hand, and I looked down on my texts and looked around the room for the guy that invited me. He wasn't there. He sent me a message and said, I have emergency, I can't come. Well, it felt like 50 unfamiliar faces. I didn't know what I was walking into, and I'm an extrovert, but at that time in my heart, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Am I fight or flight? Am I going to go or what? So I walked in the room and I pretty much crawled to my seat, which the only seat available was up front, which is horrible when you walk into a room of people you don't know and nobody's there to show you around. So I sat down there. I didn't know what I was doing. This was my first business networking group. And the president started talking, but then he asked everybody to stand up, one by one and do a commercial. I didn't really know. I knew what an elevator pitch was. I'm like, is that the same thing? So I was too shy to ask the person next to me. So I kind of got the idea by the time it got to me, and I stood up and I verbally threw up on everyone in that room because I didn't know who my target market was. Everyone. I wanted to sell to everyone. And that's what I was doing, is I was selling to the room. I had no idea what I was doing. And I sat down and I felt like everybody was looking at me. I probably talked for 10 minutes. And usually when you're a guest, you kind of just let people ramble. They don't understand that you only have 30 seconds. So from that experience, I have learned that how important it is that we like to invite people to our networking group. So what I want to concentrate on is how we can make it a successful first time for them. So, because it's a very, if you're coming out of corporate world or you've never networked, we're networking gurus. You guys, you got the networking down. It's the other people that don't know. And we have an opportunity to give them a lot of value. So here's an example. So this is Brian. Brian's a roofer. He's new to networking, and his boss wants him to get into a business referral group. He reluctantly, I got in touch with him and we talked about it. He's like, I really don't want to go. So what I did prior to him coming to my networking group is I connected him to the president of the chapter. I did a text intro just so that he would have that other connection, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what if I don't show up? And he does the same thing that I did. He walks into a room of strangers. So I wanted it to be successful. So I think this is the way that we can add value to people. Make sure that he arrives 10 to 15 minutes early. I said, Brian, I have some people I can connect you with. We already had a face-to-face, so I knew that he needed to be connected with insurance agents. So I was going to make sure that I did that ahead of that group. To be successful, bring your business cards. He didn't know what he was doing. I also explained what a soundbite is, because in Master Networks it's called a soundbite. So I wanted to make sure he knew, and it was a successful thing for him. Networking groups, I'm telling you what, it's like it can be such a beautiful experience for a guest. And I think adding that value to them always comes back. And that's why they become your customer or your client, because you're adding value to them. You know, so having them arrive early was something that was important to me whenever I invite people, and for the people that I network with. Also just walking into the room full of smiles. I know these are kind of cheesy. I asked my group to kind of, you know, but having people stand and not look at their phones and really greet people. Mark is at the door, making sure that you feel welcomed. So I loved how they played along with this. My networking group, this group is priceless. So this is how Brian felt. Brian had a huge smile on his face, and in his mind, he's thinking, I love Tracy. That is awesome that Tracy like made sure that I felt comfortable. He smiled, he's welcoming to the group. So I just added value to Brian through networking, something super small, but I think it's so important. So I'm just gonna tell you what I've learned that has helped me become successful. I've been able to share with others. We all know on this call, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, is to be authentic, just be yourself. Your nervous self or whatever, you know, but learn about the other person, not their industry. I have a real problem with the question, what do you do? If you walk into a huge networking group, a lot of times they'll ask what you do. Get to know that person, I think is so important. And yesterday was a good example of this wingman or wingwoman. Is I had my friend Glenetta go with me to a network event that was at the St. Charles Convention Center. And it's just a way for you to feel more confident going into a group. It's great for somebody that's new to networking, that you can walk alongside them, and, you know, just connecting them with other people. Another thing that I've learned is the eye contact. How important is it when you're at a live event, talking with someone, how important it is to look them in the face and not be looking throughout the crowd of, you know, I need to talk to this person or something, but just give them eye contact. I think that is so important. And then being on time is half the battle, is to just show up. So I love this. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, but in the movie, he talks about always be closing. Of course, I put this on here. I'm like, is Alec Baldwin, what's that whole situation? So I had to like research it and stuff, but always be connecting. I think it's so important to, you know, and Karen Hoffman definitely taught me this. She's great at it. Just adding value, connecting them with people. Jenny Morris is really good at it as well. And what I've learned not to do is to not sell in the room. And that's what I did that first day when I showed up at a business networking group, is selling to the room. So it's just important. I know you guys all know this, but it's so important that we kind of share it with people that don't network, that, you know, that don't have the secret sauce for it. So, and also just asking questions, you know, like Darlene asked us the questions today, 2 successful things that has happened this year. How more important that, you know, and I also learned from Darlene that she had asked, you know, how are you impacting? I asked that to a mortgage lender, and she told me a story of how she helped high schools, like for people that are going to prom and the kids that couldn't afford to go to prom, that she had a place at the school with a closet full of prom dresses for those girls. But guess what? I would have never heard that story if I didn't ask that question. How are you impacting your community? I could have just said, what do you do? And she would say mortgage lender. And it's like, where does that conversation go after that? So it was just helpful. So don't be a collector of business cards. Of course, I can show you props. This was me when I first started networking, and I just don't have the heart to throw them away, but half of these I don't need, you know? So it's just connecting with the people and following up with them. Half those people I didn't follow up with. I just was collecting their card. So, and then these are some great questions. Darlene touched on the superpower. I mean, I'm good at connecting with people. I feel like that's God's talent that he's given me, that I just naturally do that. But we all have a superpower. And I asked that question yesterday when I was at the business expo, and it threw people off at first, but then they're like, okay, they really thought about it. What is my superpower? So our conversations were so much more in depth. And Bond is what we use through Master Networks, the networking group that I'm part of. And that's just building interest. You know, you got the occupation, the needs, and discovering together, you know, how you can help them. But when you're first meeting somebody, and I think this is very important for people that are just getting into networking, is just build that interest. Find out about the other person, because you're not really selling to them. There's like 35 people behind them that they might be able to, but it's all about cultivating that relationship first and getting them to know, like, and trust you. And I hate this question. I absolutely hate it. But somebody gave me the history on it yesterday about the high school. The reason that St. Louis does that is because we had so many Catholic schools in the past that that's also how you would find out what church they belong to, what parish they belong to. I thought that was very interesting. So I do not like this question. I'm from Missouri, but this question kind of bothered me. So I'm short on time, probably. I mean, I'm not even watching Darlene, actually. I'm so sorry. I don't know how much more time I have.
You have 1 minute.
1 minute. Oh, I am okay. I'm totally thinking I flew through everything. Okay, one more second. So everybody grab your phone if it's by you. I'm going to teach you a secret, and it's great to teach somebody that is new to networking as well. Okay, so if you can pull up your LinkedIn app. On the top of your LinkedIn app is a circle, a picture of your face, and a search bar. All the way over on the search bar, there's like a square looking thing. Does everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you press on that, what that is your QR code. So you have a QR code on LinkedIn where you can connect with people. So when you're in a room full of people, you can give them this and they can connect with you on LinkedIn. I thought that was pretty cool. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And it's great for new people that are networking, that, you know, just getting started. So that's all I got.
That's perfectly timed. That's perfect.
Wow.
Great job, Tracy.
Yes.
And no apologies for thinking that you're speaking to the choir, because the choir sometimes needs practice and they need to be reminded of the lyrics. So great job on all of that. And I love it.
Even some of us that think we know a lot about it can learn. And I learned quite a bit from you today, Tracy. I want to talk to you later about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and I own a referral marketing company, and I still get the heebie-jeebies in my tummy whenever I go to introduce myself many times. So thank you for really truly sharing with us all the gifts of what you shared.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions in the chat? Nope. Okay.
No.
So just a couple things that I took around is that Tracy reminded us of what the expectation of networking is, which I really truly appreciate. I'd like to know the name of that movie that you gave that ABC to. Is it a business movie? It just sounded interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a guy kind of flick, but I think it's called Glenn Ross, and I will double check right now.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
Glenn.
just look up Glenn
Gary
Ross.
Glenn Ross. It's Glengarry Glenn Ross.
Mm.
Okay.
It's not a pretty
No.
movie
Oh,
at
okay.
all.
It's not.
It's very you don't like most of the people. Let's just say that.
Yes,
Okay.
it's very salesy. They are just all salesmen, and they're those those slimy salesmen,
So it sounds like it's a great movie to remind us of who not to be.
Right, exactly. And that always be closing. You'll see those memes everywhere.
Okay, great.
Always be connecting though. That's what you're
Yes.
telling us.
Always be connected.
You know-
Oh, I like that.
Did you go ahead, Darlene? Because there's something I wanted to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody take the position of our guest, what the guest can expect, get them to arrive early so they're not frantic. I mean, some of these things we talk about for ourselves arrive early, but for you to go and make somebody feel so comfortable, and it comes from your background of being so, it's like that valley, the valley where you felt so bad. What did you do? You turned it into something positive. Like, I am just sitting here going, I love you, I love you, I love you. You know that, Tracy, but I love you even more in the care you're taking of guests. Like, I want to be that. I want to be a Tracy. Okay, now we got a Tiffany. Now I want to be a Tracy.
Yeah.
It's the T and T day.
A TT.
So I love that. I love how you, told him, reminded him, bring your business cards early. And then
Right. And Darlene, when she was talking at that valley, when you mentioned that, I prayed this morning. I'm like, let there be things that I hear that I feel more comfortable with doing my presentation. And there were a couple things when you were talking about the valleys and stuff. I'm like, yep, this was my valley, and this is how I'm making it my mountain.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
beautiful.
And
That
the
is
other
really
thing
beautiful.
is you took them and introduced them to the person that probably holds the most power in the room, the president. You transferred, it's a transfer of influence. You made that connection. I'm just loving you even more.
Thanks.
Thank you, Karen, for that.
Can I ask
Tracy?
Tracy
Oh,
a question? Oh,
no, go ahead.
you go ahead, Cassandra. I'll go next.
I'll just make it really quick. Tracy, thank you for sharing that tidbit on LinkedIn. I didn't know about that. So that's really good.
Agreed.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. Yeah, I ditto that. Okay, and Jenny, real quick.
I'm just going to say that Tracy actually researches the people that she represents
Mhm.
and make sure that she would hire them herself. So that way, when she's really representing somebody, she knows the quality of the person.
Hi, Amy.
Yeah. Yep. Hi, Amy.
Otherwise, she
Welcome.
can see right through me.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Tracy. And the question that I learned at Gateway to Joy of Goals was, it's not what do you do, it's what do you do to change the world. And that elicits an incredible amount of conversation. So thank you. Next, we're going to welcome the personal story speaker. And today that's Angela Garland. And Angela is the owner of CEO of Exit 11 Workspace, Exit 11 Coffee, Scotty's Coffee Roasting, and she's been a real estate franchise consultant, co-working space owner and operator, speaker and entrepreneur for the last 30 years. She received her undergrad from Maryville University and MBA from UMSL while raising children and working. Her 4 adult children are 23 to 30 years old, and she has 1 grandson. Welcome to the greatest club in the world, Angela. That's all I'm saying. She's been a member of the Rotary Club in Washington, the Washington Chamber of Commerce, and board member of Grace's Place since she opened her business in 2015. She recently joined the Economic Valley, Committee of Downtown Washington And she works with her husband, Scott, running 3 drive-through locations, the workspace and coffee house, which also serves as the corporate office for the drive-through business. Their roastery will open later this summer, where they will sell wholesale and retail beans online and at their physical locations. They also handle the leasing, maintenance, and management of a 55,000 square foot building where their workspace is located. One of Angela's proudest achievements is the summiting of the 3rd and 7th highest mountains of North America in 2012. I bow to you. She was the only female climber, and this was her first and only tough terrain climbing experience. She loves rehabbing, doing, and reusing. She and her husband are currently finishing up the remodel of a 100-year-old home that will be their first vacation rental in Washington. Her big goal for Exit 11 is to open 25 drive-through locations throughout Missouri in the next 5 years. I am so looking forward to hearing even more about who you are, Angela, and your story. Please welcome Angela Garland.
Thank you. So I don't have any presentation, but I'm so thankful to be here. And I was kind of getting a little emotional, which I'm not really that emotional person, but I was thinking about Karen, because this has been a 20-year journey for me. So the Exit 11 dream or vision started literally 20 years ago. And about that time I met Karen. And if I look back, Karen introduced me to Mandy, who introduced me to Scott Zajac, who owns the building that our work center is in. So it was, through cultivating that relationship with Mandy because of Karen. So it is amazing the journey that, networking can have. Like whoever you're meeting, and I appreciate Tracy's presentation, whoever we're meeting right now, we have no idea how that person might connect the dots 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So I see you crying, Karen. Karen is my emotional teddy bear, which is why she is in nonprofit and I'm in capitalism. So I was in the shared office industry. So that's when you would take a whole floor of space in a high-rise office building. We'd build out 30 to 100 offices, and then you'd rent those to small business owners, sales reps, whatever. And then they would share resources like the copy center, the receptionist, the conference rooms, the kitchen, etc. So I was working in that industry, and Kinko's, for those of you who remember, was popular at the time. And it was retail store, and you go and you print, copy, fax. You could use a little computer if you needed to. That was later bought by FedEx. And then also Starbucks was becoming really popular, where you'd go in and meet with friends and have specialty coffee. So I thought 20 years ago, wouldn't it be a great idea if we could combine all of those things and have meeting rooms, private offices, copy center, and specialty coffee with a cute barista, and it would be street level. So you didn't have to park, go through security, go 20 floors up, blah, blah, blah. So it was a nice idea, way ahead of my time. So my superpower is I'm a futurist, I guess. So I see things before we get there, and people look at me like, you're a crazy person, but that's okay. So I spent, at the time I owned a small executive suite, and that's when I met Karen. And I met with lots of investors and sold that business a couple of years later and actually back to networking. And Tracy was talking about the Small Business Expo. I actually had a booth there, and some guy walked up and said, "Hey, have you ever thought about selling your business?" I'm like, I've only been in business 2 years. What are you talking about? He said, there's lots of people who love an existing business and aren't great at the startup. I'm like, good, because I just like the startup. And so anyway, it ended up, I sold the business, continued consulting, went back and got my MBA because I just thought that was a good idea to do for whatever reason. But that also helped me on the journey because I had other people other than entrepreneurs. I was the only entrepreneur in my cohort. So these are people who were from, Monsanto and Anheuser-Busch and corporate people. So their perspective on my business plan and the financials was different than my entrepreneurial friends, because entrepreneurial friends like Karen are like, you go girl, you got this, go, go, go. And they're more, these people, were the naysayers, analytical, redo the numbers. So I really needed that feedback, and I got to practice presenting. And so it was a good experience. But then here I am in 2006. And after 5 years of talking to investors and really wanting this, I'm kind of impatient. That's my other superpower, which is the superpower to be impatient, because I make things happen fast and I want things to happen fast. I it wasn't happening fast enough for me. I mean, come on, 5 years. So I started researching a company called Regis, who I had formerly worked for, and they are the largest provider of shared office space / co-working on the planet. They're $1 billion company. And so I just thought I'll reach out, talk to my contact there and said, hey, here's what I'm working on. I visited your website. Looks like you guys might be up to something similar. Maybe I can present this. So she says, sure, I'll have to send it up to the higher ups. And this was a monumental time in this whole journey, which is why I'm sharing it. But so so of course I'm impatient and I wait like a week. And so I emailed the executive assistant to the CEO of this $1 billion company. I mean, why not, right? They're the gatekeeper. I'm like, I'll just send her a little email, a little link, said, hey, here's the conversation that I had. Not sure if the CEO would be interested, but here's what I'm doing. Okay. Another week goes by and she hasn't responded to me. I mean, can you imagine? And so I'm like, I'm done with this. I was reading this book and I think that we're going to put the link in the chat room, but it's called Visioneering by Andy Stanley. And it's about the story of Nehemiah and him building the wall and having a vision, a God-given vision. So God can give you visions, even though they're not, they could be for profit, they could be non-for-profit, but he gave it to you. And so I thought, okay, he gave this to me. It's not going away. But I'm kind of tired. So I went on a walk and I've got 4 kids and they're teenagers and blah, blah, blah. So I just went on this walk and I'm like, I'm sick and tired of this. You're going to need to give this vision to someone else because I'm out. Like, take it away. Don't want it. And if you want me to stay in it, you're just going to have to make it really clear because I'm just tired of being rejected. Don't want to do this anymore. So I go back to the office and I get on my little computer and there's an email from the executive assistant to the CEO of the $1 billion company saying, this was a Friday. What are you doing Monday? He's in Paris. Can you do a video conference with him? He's really interested. And so I was like, oh, and my daughter who was 17 came in at the time and I was like sobbing and she's like, oh my God, what's happened? I'm like, this is just like the most exciting thing ever. Even if nothing happened from it, that the possibility that I have this idea, this little mama in St. Louis, Missouri is in alignment and has a similar vision to this guy who, a very successful person running a $1 bajillion company. So I meet with him, loves the idea. And I end up, rather than doing it on my own, I joined their company to try to build this concept within a big infrastructure because they were headed that direction anyway. So I spend a year with them and it doesn't move fast enough. And so a year into it, I mean, because now he was trying to protect me from being a part of this big, huge corporation with 1,000 employees. He's like, oh, we'll try to do this on the side. It's impossible. So now you've got the corporate architects, the interior designers, all these people with this input. The good thing about that is they probably spent a couple $1 million on research. So they went to places like eBay and Apple and all those companies and said, if we build it, will you come? Is this a legitimate concept? They flew me on private jets to Herman Miller and Steelcase to meet the CEOs of those companies and Cisco. So it was this fabulous whirlwind experience while they were paying me to do, and they were spending money on this idea. And then a year later, I'm impatient. We haven't opened one yet. And so that was in 2007. And then because I pushed, he said, okay, you called this meeting. Guess what? We're pulling out of the concept. And because of the economy, we have to focus on our core business model, which was the traditional executive suites. So we wish you well. If you ever open it, let us know. Maybe we'll buy it from you. Here's a severance package. Bye-bye. So of course, now I'm like crashing, like devastated. But then the positive part, of course, was I had all this information. So for them from 2007 to 2009, I want to make sure I'm staying on track on time. I did put a little timer in there. He was then turmoil. So of course, my husband was less than supportive and it was kind of the final straw with him. We'd been married 19 years. I'm like, okay, this is the one time I need you to be my rock and you're not being my rock. So why are you here? You're just another person I have to take care of. So I get divorced. I lose a house. We have foreclosure. Everything I had ever judged about everyone, I got to experience, because I used to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they got divorced. Oh my God, like foreclosure, like, do they not pay their bills? Like, oh my God, like, how can people live in such a tiny house? I mean, all this, I don't say it out loud, but it goes on in my mind, you know? So I got to experience all of that, which was wonderful. It's like, oh, so this is what foreclosure is like. Okay, good. And this is what divorce is like. And this is what like being a mom of single teenagers. And this is what it's like to move from a 3,000 square foot house to a 1,500 square foot house, and all of that wonderful journey. And then I did, because of Karen, she said, there's a book, all that, write it down, make it happen. So I started writing down everything I wanted, and I put a vision board together in 2008. And my husband, my future husband, was actually on there. Like, really, the picture was on there. My daughter said, Mom, that guy Scott you just met, he's on your vision board. I'm like, no, he's not. And he was, like, literally, like, it was like, my, so be careful what you put on that vision board, because, you know, I put a tall, skinny redhead, and that's what he is a tall, skinny redhead. But anyway, I don't know where I lost track. Oh, write it down, make it happen. So I wrote down, if I had to go get a corporate job, here's what it looks like. And I wrote down, you know, it has to have 401k and it has to be flexible. And I get my kids on the bus and get them home from the bus, and I can travel and blah, blah, blah. Voila, a week later on LinkedIn, thank you very much, Tracy. This guy reached out to me and said, hey, I think you might be a good fit for this. You're not quite our normal hire, because I was entrepreneurial and not traditional real estate person. And he said, we've got this consulting assignment. So it's like, you're like the mediator between the franchisee and the franchisor. So it was perfect. I took that job and I lasted 8 years. And the reason I lasted 8 years is because I had flexibility, and I was able to continue to dream and work on goals and different things, and also spend time working on this concept. Another audio series that Karen told me about, called Dreams Don't Have Deadlines by Mark Victor Hansen. And it talks about stories of an old woman starting a dance school, and a guy that was retired deciding to go to med school and becoming a doctor. It's like, it's okay. We all are like so urgent, especially me, like, oh my gosh, I have to be on the cover of Forbes magazine by the time I'm 40. Come on. And it's like, it didn't happen. So, but I thought, okay, I'll just put my little concept on the shelf. And so I did that. Okay. And fast forward 8 years later, I go on a mountain climb with the CEO of Century 21, and I blurb out, hey, you guys want to start a business? I figured if we summited a mountain together, like, hardest thing I've ever freaking done in my life, maybe we could start a business. He asks about that. I tell him my dream, and he says, what are you waiting for? He's like, disclose it to HR, work on the concept. Once you have it done, then you can leave the job and, build it and franchise it and whatever. So luckily so I started doing that. And then within a year and a half, the business was restructuring, and they gave everyone an option to either take a severance or continue working. And I took a severance. So I got a 5-month salary to leave. I was like, oh, isn't this perfect? So and then as my co-working center was open during the same time, we added the coffee. I'd always had coffee, but not like the specialty coffee, until Scott enters the picture, and the landlord of the building happened to have a restaurant that happened to have a $10,000 espresso machine. We're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just try this little espresso thing. Well, that ends up being the draw, because I'm in Washington, Missouri, don't know a single human being, which is why I joined the Rotary Network, have events. Anyway, having that opportunity launched us into the coffee business. Well, then there's no drive-through in Washington, Missouri, and the workspace. I didn't get into the workspace business to make a lot of money. I got in the workspace business because it solved a problem. And so I think that's what we all do. And so then there's another problem. There's no drive-through coffee. I visit my daughter in Seattle. There's like these little drive-through things everywhere. So I'm like, why don't we do that? So we do that. Boom, success. Wow. Okay. Then we opened the second location literally 2 days before the quarantine of the whole planet. So I'm like, okay, good. Well, guess what? Everyone's quarantined, and the only place they can go to is drive-throughs. Well, what do you know? So then this past year, we opened the third drive-through location. Well, now we ourselves go through 400 pounds of beans. So we thought it would be a good idea to buy our own roaster, so we can get a discount on a bigger discount on the beans. And then, so now, and people have been asking us to buy at retail. So we're like, okay, let's get on Amazon. So now being willing to pivot and adjust and create multiple streams of income from one single source is probably my gift and my futurist thing, thinking, who knows what's going to happen with the economy? We have to figure out where else we can make money. So here we are. And now guess what? We're opening our fourth drive-through location in December in St. Peter's off of Highway 94. And it won't be a little trailer. It'll actually be a prefab building. So that'll be the first like model. And if that works, then guess what? We take that on the road and I can go to every city across the country and say, this is what we're trying to do. And maybe I'll get to that 25, not maybe, I'll get to that 25 locations or more in the next 5 years. So I guess through all of this, the reason my ex-husband and I are no longer together is because, I mean, lots of reasons, but he would say, everywhere I go, there's a black cloud that follows me and everything you do just always works out. I said, because I always believe things will work out and you always believe that a black cloud is over your head. So I think that if we, every thing that we think is trauma in our lives, like a foreclosure or a divorce, and we always learn something from that. I mean, losing, I thought, and when I met my husband, he's like, I can't believe because when I met Scott, I had just gone through the divorce and I had to move and I lost a house. He's like, most people will be like crawled up in a ball inside the closet. I'm like, that's why the gift of motherhood is that, like, I don't have time for that. Like, someone has to feed these people and have to make sure that they have shelter. So it does drive you to keep going because you have other lives to take care of. It's really, and I'm so thankful I have that gift, because I could probably be selfish because all my life I've been told by my parents I'm wonderful and I have got lots of things. I'd be like, I'm all that. Well, I'm not all that all the time, but our children help ground us and center us and be selfless, be like, and my daughter, my youngest just got married this past weekend. So I'm like all pooped out, but it's like, this is what it's all about, is having grandbabies and having this wonderful family and that we can share all this with. And I think back in the days when I did direct sales, I was so hungry to make money. Like, I got to sell. I need money. And it never worked. It works when it's like, what am I following my passion? Am I solving problems? And then guess what? Things just happen. And of course, believing that it will all work out. So what's that saying? Energy flows where attention goes. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the opportunity to share my speed story with you.
Thank you, Angela. So I have a couple questions. Number one, I love that, it reminded me about, I am meeting so many women who have started their businesses after 50, I being one of them, and the great contributions that we are now really offering the world through our superpowers. So that's really cool. Thank you for that beautiful reminder. And I love that you built on one idea, so everything serves its other purpose. I think that's a great learning for all of us as we grow our company, just to remember, I remember when I started my business, I was going to sell Color Street nails too, and talk about two very different things, and that lasted for a hot second. And Exit 11, I guess, is the name of the coffee shops.
Yeah, the coffee shop and the roastery. It was going to be Scotty's Roastery, but people come through the drive-thru. They're like, I don't understand the Scotty. They don't connect the dots. So it'll be Scotty's syrups because he makes our syrups, but it'll be X11 coffee. So. And
is that a franchise?
No, unless I make it a franchise.
Okay.
So we're talking about it. Yeah.
Okay. And I love your energy in and your energy out. That was kind of like your ex-husband. That's what I thought about. Boy, he took that energy in and he just threw it right back out at the world. And that kind of catches up with us. And especially that you shared where your growth was always in the valley, just like we started today. And you literally took it to the mountaintop. So yay, you climbing that mountain. That was great. So I just really, truly appreciate getting to meet you like this and hearing your story. It's so empowering for each of us to really take the lessons that we get to learn. Why don't we take about 2 minutes? Any other lessons learned that somebody would like to share or comments?
I would like to ask Angela a question. If somebody, it wouldn't be me, but I do know somebody who's very interested in opening up a coffee shop, just like what you're saying. And is it better for them to try to go with you and open up a franchise in their location? They don't live here, but they don't live that, they live in Missouri. Or just do it on their own? I mean, is that something you'd be interested in talking to them about, or just tell them?
Yeah, always interested, because we could, even if we're not franchising, we could potentially look at a joint venture, but it sure would save them about 3 years. And you think about Scott's got 30 years experience. I have 30 years of business experience. It's like all of that knowledge went into.
So how do we connect? How do I connect them with you?
Can we put it in the chat? Tiffany, can you put Angela's information there, Tiffany? Or
Yeah, perfect.
I'll figure.
Okay, and Cassandra, excuse me.
First of all, I so enjoyed you. I'm so glad you did not do the whole PowerPoint presentation thing because I really got to see the authentic you, your journey. You shared the life lessons. And it was such a blessing to hear who you are, what it is you do, and how you're making a difference. So I just loved hearing your story. I hope that I can find you on YouTube somewhere so I can hear it.
Thank you.
Cassandra, you need to interview her for your show.
Exactly.
Cassandra no longer lives in the St. Louis area, but she has her own show. And I'm sure I'm positive everybody enjoyed Angela as much as you did. I don't know if you got to see Cassandra, but she would be laughing and going all the way back because you're
like a twin. She's like my twin. Oh my God. I was like, so that's what I look like. That's who I am.
Are you that impatient too, Cassandra? I can vouch for her impatience and I love her to death.
I'm working on it. It is a virtue. Clearly I haven't mastered that thing as much, but I'm getting better. But I just
Thank you. I loved it.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Michelle and Karen Jenkins have their hand up. Michelle, do you want to?
Yeah, Angela, I just wanted to say congratulations. It's been delightful watching your journey to success. And I'm just really happy for you. So congratulations.
Michelle, do you remember the old days of spa sales?
Oh my God, yes. In fact, I was thinking about Angela, I think I met you when you were still married to your first husband. So I've known you for a really long time. And it's just really, really fun to see what you and your family are doing. And I'm just really happy for you.
Thank you, Michelle. It means a lot.
Karen Jenkins.
Hi, congratulations first off. Wow, you are so upbeat and I love you. But I love the smell of coffee, but I've never acquired the taste. But do you have hot chocolate?
We have hot chocolate, we have teas, and we can help you acquire a taste. I didn't either until I was like 35. I was like, oh, coffee, so.
Everybody's like, put cream and sugar. And I'm like,
Maybe there's coffee candles.
Yeah.
I could see you selling them. No, I meant Angela. Money Street.
I love the smell. Yeah. I'm a neighbor in Catawissa, so I will come see you in Washington.
Yes, perfect.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yay.
Missy, did you have something?
Oh, no, I was just commenting there are coffee candles. There's coffee, everything.
Yeah.
Tiffany happens to be one of Angela's clients or customers.
Frequent.
Using the drive-through.
Yeah, we're right by the truck that opened up right before the pandemic. So it was amazing. One, I was excited to have it open, but then to watch the lines grow every time we drove by it was pretty cool. So yeah, and it's our Sunday morning treat for sure after church if my son has behaved at church.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
We love it.
And Angela, we look forward to, or I look forward, I'm out here in St. Peter, so I look forward to
Me too.
experiencing your coffee out here too as well. So thank you. And I've got some ideas for a friend of mine who is in the coffee business as well. So I just texted her to see if she would be interested in connecting with you. So thank you so much.
I love you, Angela.
Yeah, thank you. So next, what we want to do is we really want to ask if you have any testimonials or a member shout out or how Goals to Gateway to Dreams has helped your business, helped you in your success, helped you in relationships, however that plays out for you. So we'd like to hear from one or two people. So either raise your hand or get my attention somehow. Who could that be? Tracy?
Well, yeah. So like I said, you guys have means so much to me. I think it's really helped my business. Also with the Dream Tank, it was nice to be on here and get everybody's feedback when I'm like, I don't know about my logo. I don't know what's going on. So I really appreciate just coming together to help, one another just grow and be successful. So I really, really appreciate you guys. I wish I saw you more than once a month though.
Thank you, Tracy. And because I'm thinking about it, please put your information in the chat if you haven't done that. And then the little 3 dots to the right, to the very far right of the chat where it says everyone, that's where you can save the chat for afterwards so that you can have access to everyone. So
how do we do that?
Go ahead, Tiffany. It's Be a Tiffany Day.
I actually put it in the chat. So at the bottom right of your chat, you'll see 3 little dots. At least on mine, there's a little smiley face for the emojis and then the 3 little dots. And right there, if you click on that, it says save chat, and that'll save it directly to your computer.
Oh, you know what? I'm on my phone. Could you send me a copy of that chat, Tiffany?
Yeah, I'll send it to you when we're done. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
And can you do the same for me too? I'm on my mobile.
So Cassandra as well.
Cassandra, could you put in the chat your email address? I'm not sure that I have it. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. Missy, let's invite you to the screen and share a little bit about donating to Gateways and volunteering and all the things that you're involved in. And you're muted, just FYI.
Hello, everyone. Let's get this is our fabulous board that supports Karen in all of her efforts. It takes a village, as we always say in this group. And these are, excuse me, the 6 fabulous ladies behind Karen. We have Deborah Leanne Morley, Debbie Josendale, Dr. Marty Casey, Kathy Lambert, Tracy Flay, and Miss Dawn Berry, who has just recently joined Karen's board. Behind that, we have our tremendous amount of volunteers, which there are always volunteer opportunities for anybody that is interested. You can reach out to Karen or myself or Heidi if you are interested, and we would love to welcome you in and let you know all that is available to do and take care of to keep this wonderful group going. And we have ways to support Gateway to Dreams, which helps us to further support and bring all these amazing programs to you. Our Joy of Goals, which Sheva, if you have questions about that, can help you with that. We have Write Your Book Right Now. We have Jenny Grace online if you have questions about learning what that does. If you are interested in writing a book, and our website to donate is right here at the top of the screen. If you'd like to take a snapshot of that and write that down. All of the donations that we get keep the lights on at the lodge. It keeps all these programs, CPW, Joy of Goals, and Write Your Book Right Now going. And you know, like all nonprofits, every little bit helps and nothing is too small. So whatever you can do, we truly appreciate your help. And then our closing quote of the day, which I am always floored every time I pick a quote, how it always is in alignment with the things that we've talked about today, or that day, I should say. So I think if we all really do these 4 things, anything is possible. And we then show the world what it is to be good human beings. So dream big, plan well, work hard, and smile always. And I think the sky is the limit then. And to take us on home, Miss Tiffany will get us all set up. And Karen, do you want to share about this song about Pookie since she's not on with us?
Well, and for anyone who's never been on before, we close out with the song. I heard it in 2014, shortly after Michael Brown died in Ferguson. And when I heard the song, I got goosebumps and did not know what to do with it. But finally, I felt God said, bring Pookie to CPW and have her sing. And for many of you, you've heard the story at 6 o'clock, no, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm calling her and I'm arguing first with God. I can't call her. It's not 8 o'clock. I can't call her. But I went ahead and called her and she came and sang. And it just means so much to me that for St. Louis to become better, we all have to take responsibility for our city, for ourselves, for our families. So I am responsible is what we sing as we close. And I'm going to mute and let Tiffany take it away.
Okay, can't say I want to hear everybody, but I do want to see everybody's lips moving. Here we go.
am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Looking around the world, and what do I see? So many things in a state of need, pain and suffering all around me. I won't stand by and just let this be, 'cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Everywhere, everyone wants to be free. Some look around and say, it's not me. How can they close their eyes and not see? It all comes down to me, because I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. 'Cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I say I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. Come on and leave the world a better place. Yeah.
That was
All right, everybody.
great.
Yeah, have a great week.
Hey,
everybody.
Next month, we are not the fourth Wednesday because of Thanksgiving. We are the second Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Wait,
Bye,
and
everybody.
is that the same for December as well?
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's okay, I just screwed it up. It is the same next month. It's December. We're the second Wednesday. Thank you, Sheva. Thank you. Bye.
Perfect.
Bye.